Et maintenant, le PenBBS 323. This is the PenBBS 323. Very interesting model, very nicely shaped, very curvy, and I think that is definitely something to chat about for a bit because it very nice shape. I talked to Gold Spot Pens, and I said I actually received some review requests for this pen, which I did, and they very kindly sent me one. So that is lovely. Let's all thank Gold Spot Pens because it's because of those kinds of things that I can keep doing these videos, right? So thank you. I am going to cover the parts of this pen. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, but before I do that, I'll do a quick writing sample. Let's get started. Okay, so let's have a look at the PenBBS 323. We have this little white cardboard sleeve, and then we have a very simple, cute, but simple little box, cardboard, a little bit of foam rubber, a little pen jacket right there, and there is a little magnetic closure. I was hiccuping, that is weird. Let me take a sip here and hope I will not hiccup my way through this video. Now, the pen. I do kind of have to hold it because it's a roller. Yep. But here you see the pen right next to a Lamy Sapphire. So you see they're actually pretty similar in size, right? Let's have a look at all the parts of this pen. On top here, the finial, there's nothing, it's all the same material, which I think is actually quite nice. Then you have a slightly barrel-shaped cap. There's no clip or anything, there's no engravings, there's nothing. Then you have this, again, slightly bulbous shape here, and then it narrows down, it flares out again. In my mind, this is kind of what I expected when Montblanc did their Marilyn Monroe pen, which is not at all meant in any sexist way, but this has a very voluptuous shape, which is kind of what I was expecting for a pen kind of modeled after a sex symbol, but a missed opportunity. So PenBBS then just did it, why not? And it is interesting, you can see all sorts of things in this. Yes, there is that sort of voluptuous shape, but then also for some reason this kind of reminds me of a fish when you look at it, where you have this fish, you have a tail and it flares out a little bit, like a little cute little goldfish or something. So that's interesting. Now, I shall stop going on and I will definitely cease using the word voluptuous now. The pen, available in 3 finishes at Gold Spot. This is the Orange Goddess, and I specifically requested that because orange is the national color of the Netherlands. Fun fact, the pen can be eyedroppered, it does not come with a cartridge, but it does come with a converter, and it has a number 6 nib. So not bad at all, and all of this can be yours for $24.95, which I don't think is a terrible price. But we were going through the pen. So we have a finial, slightly barrel-shaped cap, a nicely voluptuous, I had to say it again, a voluptuous shape here, and then at the end there is nothing really, but it looks interesting though. That perspective looks quite cool, so I kind of like that. The cap unscrews. I'll just make that rest straight up because there's again no clip, it will roll off. Then you have a very sensual hourglass shaped section. I don't know what makes that sensual, but now I've gone down this road, may as well. And it's actually really comfortable. It's a classic shape, but it really works well. It's comfortable to hold, and I find this a rather pleasant experience to hold. Now, this pen does not post, because of the odd shape, it does not post, but it kind of works because it gets a bit wider here, which is exactly where my thumb is, and then it gets a bit narrower there, and it kind of rests on my hand. So, to be honest, even though this is not a massive oversized pen, I actually think it's very comfortable, and even if your hands would be a bit smaller, I think those proportions still would kind of work out. So I do find that rather a nice shape in this pen. Now, another fun thing, it's a little hard to unscrew the barrel at first, and the reason for that, which you may be able to tell, is that little O-ring there. But the nice thing about that O-ring is that you can just fill up this barrel with ink. I personally would still put a little bit of silicone grease right there on the threads, but in theory you have a barrier so you won't get any leakage, right? The ink will not seep out. And then here you have a converter, which is that kind of lamy-shaped converter with this flattened turning knob that I've seen on a couple of Chinese pens recently. You see, that's where it's a little hard to screw in, but once it's in, it's very secure. Another nice advantage of that is that you don't typically unscrew the section accidentally very easily, because that rubber O-ring, or whatever material it is, kind of keeps the section in place, which is quite nice, I think. Okay, sorry for the noise, I was just grabbing some paper. Let's see if we can do a writing sample. So here we have the pen PenBBS 323 Orange Goddess, which, if you don't mind, I'm just going to leave out. The nib, I hadn't shown you a close-up of that yet, so may as well do it now. It's a cute little PenBBS nib. It is actually engraved PenBBS. It says since 2005, it says China at the bottom, and it says F for fine. And this is Sailor Apricot, which seemed like an excellent match for the pen. Just don't tell Z that I used her ink. Now, this is quite a pleasant nib. In the same batch from Gold Spot, I also got this, the PenBBS 469. Has been reviewed, is on my channel. Those nibs I found a little less pleasant than this one. I found a little scratchier, whereas this one I actually think is quite nice. Smooth. No, I was writing smooth. And performs pretty well, as you can see. I mean, it does do pretty well. I am yet to find a PenBBS nib that is a gusher. They are slightly on the dryish side of things, but as you can see, they do write well. As always, very careful. Line variation. Yeah, a little bit, but this is definitely not a flex nib and should not be treated as such. Now we have reverse writing. Not really doable. As you can see, the nib runs dry fairly quickly and just stops doing this. Now this is a lighter ink, but I don't know, well, the camera picks it up, but I can tell you there's pretty much no ink here. That's just pressure into the paper that makes that line. So there you have it. I think what we need to do next is see what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Let's have a look at that. Wilhelmus van Nassau. This is the Dutch national anthem, one of the most depressing hymns ever written, if you ask me. But this is orange, our national color, and there are a couple of things that I really like about this pen. There's also a few things that I don't like so much, but they are relatively minor. What do I like? It's a pretty sweet deal. $24.95, comes with a converter, has a nib that in this case is pretty smooth. Now in the same batch I got this from Gold Spot Pens, the PenBBS 469, which has nibs on either end, and to be fair, that one is a little less smooth. So I can't promise you'll get a super smooth nib on this, but this one's actually quite nice. $24.95, number 6 nib, converter included, all that. It can be eye drop, but I think that's quite nice. What I really like about this pen is the design. The design stands out. It's not a pen shape that you see all the time. This is a classic design. Omas Milord, really nice pen. Yeah, this happens to be faceted, but from a distance you can't really see that. This is a very cool shape, I think. Right? Very voluptuous. I had to say it again, sorry. But that is quite nice. And that I do really like, because it stands out and that makes for a very nice pen. I think it's nice for smaller hands. You can use it with larger hands, but it is a little dainty, and because the section is quite slim and because of the way it's curved, I think it will work well in smaller hands, which is quite nice. Let me just wipe this down because I'm flinging this around and there's ink everywhere. I like that it can be eyedropper filled. That increases the capacity of this pen tremendously, because that is a big barrel and it looks like it is actually hollow pretty much all the way down, so that would hold a nice amount of ink. So if that is something in the market for, I'm thinking of students, for example, that have to do a lot of writing, that could be very, very helpful, and that I think is really quite nice. So there is that, which I think is quite cute. Final thing I wanted to say, yeah, in my mind, the best part of this pen really is the design. A very nice shape. Things I don't like so much. It doesn't post, not an issue to me. Some people love to post everything they use. You can't post it. And it might be nice if you could, because then this very slim bit actually becomes a bit wider. But on the other hand, as I said, I think it is shaped in such a way that it kind of follows the contours of your hands quite nicely. So I'm not sure if I really would want to post this. The final thing I wanted to say, and that is in my mind a bit of a bigger issue, is that there is no clip. And even though I don't really care, I put these in a pen case, I carry it around, it's no issue for me. But the problem is that it rolls. So put this on any desk that's not 100% level and it will roll off immediately. And it's happened to me a couple of times at work now. Not ideal. Not ideal. Just something to be aware of. And if you're aware of it, it's not, probably not a deal breaker, but it is just something to keep in mind. Having said that, again, I think it's a pretty sweet deal. $25, that's really not that bad. I enjoy it. I think it's a cute pen. A very kind thank you to Goldspot for sending me this pen so kindly. I really appreciate it because that allows me to keep doing these kinds of videos. I hope this was useful. I hope this may have given you some input on whether or not to purchase this pen. And that's all there's to it. I will gladly see you later. Bye bye.